He fought 61 duels against the best swordsmen in Japan. He never lost once, not once. But here's what most people get completely wrong about Miyamoto Musashi. They think his secret was his technique. It was not. Musashi himself wrote that the way of the sword and the way of life are the same way. What made him unbeatable in combat made him unbeatable in everything. His 5 rules, written days before his death, were not instructions for fighting. They were instructions for living. And today, through the story of one man who found them at his lowest point, you will discover all 5. Subscribe and tell me in the comments. What is the one area of your life where you feel most beatable right now? I read every one. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Man Who Kept Losing. This is Riku. Riku is 29 years old, freelance graphic designer. 3 years since he left a stable corporate job to build something of his own. 3 years of almost landing the big client, almost finishing the portfolio that would change everything, almost doing the deep work that the best version of himself demands, until distraction, doubt, or the next small fire intervene. Riku is not untalented. People who see his work say so consistently. But Riku has a problem that talent cannot solve. He has no system. He has intensity without discipline, ambition without ruthlessness. He reads about success and talks about success and thinks about success, and at the end of each week sits down with his work and finds it insufficient. Not because he is wrong, because he has been using the wrong rules. Then a mentor sent him one book, The Book of 5 Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, a warrior's manual written 400 years ago in a cave just before its author died. Read only the rules, the mentor said. Apply one at a time. Riku read all 5 in one evening. Then he started at Rule 1, and nothing was the same afterward. Chapter 2, Rule 1. Do not think dishonestly. Musashi's first rule sounds almost too simple. Do not think dishonestly. Riku read it and moved on, then came back to it, because he knew, with the specific discomfort of someone being accurately described, that this was precisely what he had been doing for 3 years. He told himself he was working when he was avoiding the hard part. He told himself the timing wasn't right when he was afraid of rejection. He told himself he needed more preparation when he meant he needed more courage. Musashi demanded ruthless honesty, first with yourself, then with the world. Not as punishment, as precision, because self-deception is not just weakness, it is the fastest path to defeat. Riku began one practice that evening. At the end of each work session, one question: where did I deceive myself today? The first answer shocked him. He had spent 2 hours organizing his files instead of finishing the project that actually scared him. He had given dishonesty a productive disguise. He would not allow that again. Chapter 3. Rule 2. The way is in training. Musashi had no patience for theory without action. He did not believe in talent. He believed in repetition, discomfort, in the long, unglamorous work of training. Riku had been reading about design for 3 years. Articles, interviews, courses he started and never finished. He had enormous knowledge about the craft and a paralyzing unwillingness to simply practice it, imperfectly, publicly, repeatedly. Musashi's answer was direct. The way is in training, not in reading about training, not in planning training. Training. Riku committed to one deliverable every single day, not a masterpiece, a finished thing, or sketches, concepts, one completed piece, every day, regardless of quality, regardless of confidence. What did I produce today that was difficult? That became his question. By week 3, his output had doubled. By week 6, his best work was better than anything he had made in 3 years of waiting for readiness. Readiness was never coming. He had to train his way into it. Chapter 4. Rule 3. Become acquainted with every art. Musashi was not only a swordsman, he was a painter, sculptor, calligrapher, strategist, and poet. His paintings hang in museums today, 4 centuries after his death. He believed mastery in one domain deepens mastery in all domains. The principles of swordsmanship, timing, patience, decisiveness apply everywhere, to everything. Riku had been designing in isolation. The same references, the same digital tools, the same design community online, showing each other the same work. He started studying Japanese woodblock printing, calligraphy, ancient typography, the negative space in samurai armor design. principles of architecture he had never considered. 3 months later, a client said something he had not heard before. "Your work doesn't look like anyone else's." That difference had a source. It came from outside his comfort zone, from the art that had nothing to do with its field, until suddenly everything did. Chapter 5, Rule 4 and 5. Rule 4, know the ways of all people. Musashi studied not just other arts, but other people. Merchants, farmers, craftsmen, soldiers. He wanted to understand how every kind of person thought, moved, and made decisions. Riku had been inside the design world entirely. He began talking to people outside it. A carpenter, a chef, an architect, a surgeon. He started asking one question in every conversation. What makes someone excellent at what you do? The answers: patience, the ability to tolerate long periods of invisibility, ruthless refinement of the basics, were always the same. The field was different. The discipline was identical. The person who understands many worlds can navigate any of them. Rule 5. Distinguish between gain and loss. This was the rule that changed Riku most fundamentally. Musashi insisted on clarity about what actually constitutes winning and losing, not what the world applauds, but what aligns with your values and your actual purpose. Riku had been measuring himself against other designers online, their follower counts, their client lists, their apparent success. All metrics that had nothing to do with what he was actually trying to build. He wrote one sentence and taped it to his monitor. What am I actually here to create? Everything else became secondary. Every decision simplified. Does this move me toward that or away from it? Chapter 6, The Transformation. 14 months after reading those 5 rules, Riku's mentor came to visit his studio. The studio was different. The walls were covered not in inspiration boards, but in finished work. Dozens of completed pieces, iterations, visible progress across months. The evidence of training. What changed? The mentor asked. I stopped being dishonest, Riku said, about how I was spending my time, about what I was avoiding, about what I was actually building. Once I stopped doing that, everything else became possible. The mentor picked up a piece from the wall, looked at it for a long time, then said, "This is the work I thought you had in you." Riku nodded. It was always there. I just needed rules that were honest enough to reach it. Closing 5 rules in order. Starting today. 1. Do not think dishonestly. At the end of every day, where did I deceive myself? Name it. Write it. Do not repeat it tomorrow. 2. The way is in training. One thing produced today that was difficult, not perfect. Finished. Do it again tomorrow. 3. Become acquainted with every art. One thing outside your field this month. Study it as a student, not a tourist. 4. Know the ways of all people. One conversation this week with someone who does something completely different from you. Ask them what excellence in their field looks like. 5. Distinguish gain from loss. One sentence. What am I actually here to build? Tape it somewhere visible. Musashi died alone in a cave in 1645. He owned almost nothing. He held no title. He left behind no dynasty. What he left was a way of thinking that has survived 4 centuries and still cuts through every distraction the modern world can produce. He was unbeatable because he knew exactly who he was, what he was training for, and what he refused to compromise. That clarity is available to you right now, starting with Rule 1. See you in the next one.